Hello there and welcome to a brand new lesson. This is Hub Beyond Numbers, where we learn maths the easy way. In this lesson, we are looking at the midpoint of a line segment, and we'll be focusing on how to find the midpoint between 2 points. These are the lesson objectives. And without much ado, let's quickly look at them. Let's start by first of all looking at what the meaning of midpoint is in relation to what a line segment. So the midpoint of a line segment is simply the point that lies exactly halfway between the two endpoints. By so doing, we realize that it divides the line segment into two equal parts. See, so it divides the line that is formed between these 2 points into 2 equal parts. And then it has coordinates that are the average of the endpoint. What does this mean? What does this mean? So let's say A and then B are 2 points on this Cartesian plane we have over here. And the line that joins these 2 points is as shown. Then if we are talking of the midpoint of A and then B, then it is going to be the point in the middle of this line segment. So somewhere around here. Such that, so this midpoint should be such that, as you see, if I'm to measure from A to the middle here, which we claim to be the midpoint, the measure here, let's say, if it is a distance of D, then that from the midpoint here should also be the same as D. You see, so that is what we mean by it divides the line segment into 2 equal parts. Now, talking of it having a coordinate that has the average of the 2 endpoints, that is going to be our focus for this lesson, to determine the midpoint of 2 endpoints. So talking of the midpoint formula, if you are given 2 points, so let's say you have the point A with coordinates x1, y1, and the point B with coordinates x2 and then y2. Then if you want the coordinates of the midpoint, this right here, what you do is you add the x values. So the x we have here to the x we have over here. Then we find its average. And that alone will be the x value of the midpoint. You do the same to the y. So you find the sum of the y values and then find their average. And that alone is going to be what? The y component of your midpoint. Let's solve some examples so that we'll actually appreciate this formula. So for this question we have here, it says we have to find the midpoint between A, and A has the coordinates 2, 4, and then B also has 8, 10. So with that, we can easily identify our x1 and then y1. So x1, y1, and for this, we have our x2, y2. We want the midpoint. And we know the midpoint's coordinate is given by the average of what? X1, the average of the x's, so x1 plus x2, then we divide by 2, and then the average of the y's. That alone is the coordinate of the midpoint. So our midpoint then is going to be substituted. So our formula is then going to be substituted with the actual values. X1 was 2, so 2 plus x2, which is what? 8. So 2 plus 8 all over 2. Then for the y, we have 4 from the y1 plus y2, which is what? A 10. And we find its average as well. Simplifying further, we have the midpoint being 8 plus 2 all over 2 gives us a 10 over 2. And 10 over 2 gives us a 5. And for this, we have 4 plus 10, which is 14. 14 over 2 gives us 7. So this here is the coordinate of the midpoint. That is the point in between A and B that divides the line between them into 2 equal parts. That is our midpoint. The midpoint is very, very easy to solve. Hence, we'll solve one last example and we'll end this lesson. So this next question here, just as we did the previous one, says we have to find the midpoint between 4, that is P having coordinates -4, 6, and Q with coordinates 2, -2. So it's the same procedure. P has the coordinates -4 and then 6. And that of Q is what? The 2, -2. Now take note of your x1, y1, and then your x2, y2. And we know the formula for the midpoints is given as what? X1 plus x2 all over 2. And then we have y1 plus y2 all over 2. That is, we are finding the average of the sums of the coordinates. So our m is equal to x1, which is a -4, plus x2, which is a 2, then all over 2. Then for the y's, we have 6 plus the -2. You see, even though we are doing the same thing, but you'd have to take critical look and then work. You'd have to pay attention when you have the negatives. So we have -4 plus 2, which gives us a -2. So we have -2 over 2. Then 6 plus -2 then gives us a 4 all over 2. Simplifying further, our midpoint is -1. That is from the -2 over 2. It gives us a -1. And then 4 over 2, which also gives us a 2. And that is all. This is the procedure involved in finding the midpoint of a line segment when given the end point. In practical exam type questions, you wouldn't be given just this, but then you would be asked to apply the knowledge obtained from this session to solve practical questions. As usual, I'll leave you with some exercises just for you to try and then test your understanding on. So these are your exercises here, just 2 questions. The first one says, for each pair of points below, you have to calculate the coordinate of the midpoint. Show your work in using the formula. And you have 5 pair of points. And the second one says, the midpoint of the line segment is 3, -2. If one of the endpoints is 1, 4, then you have to find the other endpoint. The second one needs to be critically worked out to test your understanding. I do hope this lesson was helpful. If this was your first time on this channel and you think it will be of help to you, you can subscribe if you so do wish, so that anytime I release a video, you'll be notified to come and learn with us together. Have beyond numbers, learning maths the easy way. Bye for now, and do stay safe. See you in our next lesson.